Hello everyone, hope you are doing great. Welcome to Beyond the Cloud. I'm excited to introduce a brand new series on serverless website hosting. So this is an upgraded version of my previous series addressing the feedback that I have received about certain issues. In this series, I will guide you step by step to achieve seamless serverless hosting using AWS S3 for static hosting and CloudFront as the front-end interface. On the back end, we will use API Gateway and AWS Lambda to serve traffic from DynamoDB table. So beyond deployment, we will also dive into security best practices to ensure your application is well protected. Plus, at the end of the series, I have a small task for you, implementing the authentication mechanism with a predefined format. You will need to tweak a few settings to complete it. So let me know in the comments if you get it working. The entire series is divided into four parts. So make sure to watch each and every one carefully to achieve the final goal. Also, don't forget to check the video description for the code base to follow along. Now, if you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and stay updated. Drop a comment to let me know what you liked and what could be improved. I always appreciate your feedback. So let's get started. So, welcome to the part one of serverless website hosting. So, as I said, this is the upgraded version of my previous series of serverless website hosting, where I received couple of feedback that couple of things were not working. So, instead of changing that, I have launched this new serverless website hosting series, where I hope everything will work out and you guys will be more flexible in designing your application, or will get an idea about how the serverless website hosting or this particular series of services we can integrate together to have a proper website hosted in AWS without provisioning any servers, like for example EC2 instances, without managing any servers by your own. How you can do that? Let's get started. So this is the part one of the series where I will give a very short introduction about the project, that what we are going to do. I have 5 or 6 slides of this PowerPoint presentation, and then from part two or part three, we will have more hands-on experience, like how we are going to implement that. So bear with me or get some introduction about this project. So the next one is what I will explain. I will give some introduction about the serverless website hosting and the architecture of our work. Then the code base. It's very important that you get the code base. I have uploaded everything there, and there are a couple of tasks that you might need to do as well from your end, where the outlines were given already. You can get help from the outlines. Then you can do that by yourself. So the code base, I will also give the link, is in the description box of the each and every video. You will get it, and then you can just download it and do it by your own. And then part four, where we will have our demo. So this particular season, as I said, for today, we are only concentrating about the theory portion of it. So what is this project all about? So this project is hosting a website, or hosting your first website uh, without any server. So you don't have to manage any server, you don't have to patch your instances or anything, but you can host your server, you can host your websites where in an S3 bucket. And from that S3 bucket, we will serve the website with CloudFront, which is a content delivery network from AWS, and then on the back end, it will have API Gateway, Lambda, DynamoDB, and whatnot. Everything is managed by AWS, and all you have to do, you have to configure your website such that it can interact with you. I will show you how to do that, but everything here is serverless. So one thing I wanted to mention, this is I mentioned previously as well in my earlier videos, that there is nothing like serverless. So everything like the Lambda, like the API gateway, all are running in servers, but in AWS end that you don't see or you don't manage. So as you don't see that or you don't manage that, that's why it's called serverless for you, but not for the whole cloud. I mean, someone is managing that, someone is patching those instances, but you don't have to do that. You just have to concentrate on your work of Lambda or your API gateway or your CloudFront distribution. This is how it works. This is how serverless is called. So this is the introduction, and then we have the architecture. What are we going to do? So not all of these are we are going to do in our project. So if I mean 90% we will do, of course. But for example, the authentication or authorization, I will leave it to you guys how to do that. I have a pro forma, as I said, I have an outline, or I will give you an outline how to do that. You would just have to download the code and do some modifications there, but you have to do it yourself. But I will give you an overview how can you do that. So let's start from the left. So user requests my website, and my website is hosted in an S3 bucket and distributed by CDN, CloudFront distribution. And user will get a response from CloudFront distribution, and they will see the website. And when the request is served, then it will go to API gateway for further request serving, whether it's a GET request or it's a PUT request. Based on that, the Lambda will get the response out of the DynamoDB where my data is stored, and the data will be then fetched via the Lambda, then the API gateway to this CloudFront, and basically to the user. So this is the whole architecture. This is what we will work on, from CloudFront to S3, then from S3 to calling an API gateway, from API gateway calling an Lambda function, and from Lambda function we will gather the data from DynamoDB table and send back the response to the user where it originated from. There are two things to discuss here. Within this architecture, I will show you everything, and I will show you how to enable the WAF logs as well. WAF is very important for DDoS protection. If you are very new to the security, you please do some research or make a Google search how this WAF works. WAF is very important if you want to secure your website in a way, such a way that no vulnerable or no DDoS attacks happen. So WAF is important. I will show you how to enable that and how to check the WAF logs as well. And the second most important part is the authentication. You can enable the authentication on API gateway layer or the CloudFront layer. What I would request you to do the authentication by your own. I have a proforma, I have a skeleton which I have already given in the code base. You just have to modify something out of it, and then you integrate that with the code that I will give you, and then your authentication work. That's a configurable authentication that I have given, but you can also authenticate using Cognito user pool or identity pool. You can also configure that, and if you do that, then your website is much more secure. That you are only validating user, and you are only serving the request and response to the user whoever is authenticated. So that's more secure, but the authentication is not part of this course. So you can do it yourself. The skeleton is given. This is what I wanted to mention. This is the overall architecture. Now going back to the next slide is where is the code base. So the code base is in the GitHub repository, and I will give the link of the GitHub repositories in each and every video description. Please do check that and download the code for your references. The front end of the code is basically on JavaScript. It's a plain old JavaScript with HTML, CSS embedded in it, and the backend is Python. You can choose Python, Flask, or Django from whatever you want. But to this project, the Lambda code itself is developed in Python. It's a very simple Lambda code that we will see. And the next is the one where we will do some hands-on. And we will create API gateway, DynamoDB, S3 bucket, Lambda, configure the S3 file, then serving the traffic from API gateway to Lambda, then create the CloudFront distribution. So all and everything we will do from scratch, and you will get an idea how to host the website. So again, thank you for being here. I will end this video today as of now, but on the next part, I will be back and do the real hands-on of how to set up the project from scratch. So stay tuned, and um, I will get back to you with my next video where we will set up everything from scratch. So if you are new to this channel, kindly like, share, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. I will be back with the second part of this series, and I hope you will enjoy it. Till then, take care. Goodbye.